So anyone that's still joining, it's obviously the eclipse is still going on, but it's less. I think we're back down 80% of the sun. I just wanted to show you guys where how much sunlight is left still covered. So I'm going to take you off the tripod here. Anyways, for those that did get to join earlier, I just want to thank you all for watching today with me. This actually was something I really lived for and been waiting for a long time. So now, Ramblers, and all my esteemed viewers today, I'm going to show you where we're at in the terms of the sun's coverage, because again, yes, I've already passed the point of where maximum coverage is for Penang, Malaysia, but it's still obviously not going to instantly stop. Obviously, the actual eclipse will not end until about for another over an hour. No, maybe, and then after about 3:30 my time. So it'll obviously be super late for you guys, for any of you in the continental U.S. or London right now, because I know you guys are all coming off of a very Merry Christmas. Oh yeah, my apologies. I forgot to wish everyone, all of those that celebrate, a very, very Merry Christmas. I hope everyone's Christmas holiday was fun, festive, and bright. And yes, we still got another holiday next week. And actually, here today is another holiday, but it's not really. It's Boxing Day, but it's more of a British holiday. But it's today. So anyway, so I'm going to show you guys what. So I'm going to pull this down on the paper, and I'm going to show you. You can see it. Whoops. Flip the camera around here. Yeah, camera here, and then I'm going to show you how much of the sunlight is still covered. Okay, I got to turn around this way. I got to turn this way. Okay, so turn back this way. So now I'm going to see. Oh, sorry. I got to turn back this way. Yeesh. So look. So if you can see that crescent right there, if you can see the crescent, you can actually see that little dot, that little white dot. And not that dot. This. Okay, let me focus in so you guys can see better. Okay. And it's I know it's gonna be kind of hard because it's very small. Plus, my phone may block the light. If I put it next to the rock, then if I use the rock like this, then the rock can act as a marker. The rock will act as a marker. So what I'm gonna do now, take this hole. Actually, this is the hole right here. So I'm gonna take that hole, and then you can actually see if I put the crescent right next to the rock. Now you can see it. Now you can see it. See that? Now you can see how much of the sun is still covered by the moon here in Penang. So obviously it's still noticeably cooler, but it's already starting to brighten up again and warm up. But it's still pretty, actually not too bad. If especially for those of you that are sick of winter's chill and want to dream of faraway exotic tropical locales with trees that look like this or that. So as you can see there, I'm going to show this again. So for those that are join me late, I'm showing you this. This is a safe way to view a partial solar eclipse. Now, obviously, every phase of an eclipse, except for the total portion of the totality, you will have to utilize an indirect method because it is unsafe for eyes and camera and telescope optics. So this is a very basic form of a basic method called pinhole projection. Now, as I was saying earlier, so you can see here, I'm going to zoom out. You can kind of see, you can see it more apparent like that. See there, zoom out a bit, so bring the paper out a bit, now you can still see it. So I still have about 80% of the sun covered. So it's already starting to move off. But yeah, so that isn't something that's a very interesting phenomenon during a solar eclipse. Okay, another way, a similar way, the same principle. Actually, go right here. You can actually go right here. So I'm going to take these two pieces of paper, show on the ground so that you can see, and I'm going to take a spot between leaves. So then the reason I'm doing this is because let me block out here. Okay, so you can't see it now, but earlier, those of you that joined me earlier can see this effect. Now it's actually starting to lessen up a bit. And then let me put these two pieces of white paper on the ground. So you see right here. See, you can still see. Whoops, gotta move my big butt out of the way. Okay, so as you can see there, you can see a bunch of crescents, what appear to be crescents. Now, what's going on here is that the pinhole projector that I showed earlier, well, this is another form of that. Basically, what's going on is, see the spaces between those leaves up there? Though the spaces between all those leaves up there act as tiny pinhole projectors, and they each project one solar image, one image of the sun onto the ground. So and basically that's just basically what sunlight is. It's just a bunch consisting of a bunch of overlapping sun images that all come together in what you see as a beautiful, bright, sunny day. So that it is that reason why you see this here today. Now, as I was saying earlier, here is going to be a partial eclipse. Today's eclipse, even at max coverage, the closest to me will be Singapore. They will have about 94% of the sun covered. Now, what's going on is because this eclipse is not a total eclipse. No. This is what's called an annular eclipse. The reason it's called an annular eclipse is because instead of being completely obscured by the moon, the sun will have the outer ring of sunlight will appear. So again, the annular means, it derives from the Latin word annulus, meaning ring, and that's basically what you're going to see, a bunch of rings. And here, if you were say in the southern part of Singapore, and you're standing under a tree, and you look on the ground like this, on the sidewalk or a piece of paper like what I'm doing here, then you will see at maximum coverage there, what you will see is a bunch of rings, a bunch of light rings appearing on the ground. Now, if you happen to be there, or please photograph that, because that's actually also another interesting effect. Now here I'm obviously not going to get that, obviously, but I still get this cool crescenty effect. Now, any tree I stand under that can form a sort of pinhole will show this until the moon moves off completely from the sun's disk. So as you can see there, my phone's shadowed on the way. So I put this paper there so that you all can better see it, because it's kind of hard to see. You can't really see it on the grass, right? So that's why I put this here, so you can kind of see this. I'm moving a bit closer, but it's pretty much the best you're gonna get. It's very diffuse, not sharp rings, because the leaves are way up high up on that tree. Now, like I said, light rings in Singapore, because they're going to get an annular eclipse. Now, because they're a bit to the southeast longitudinal, according to longitude, their maximum coverage is going to be later than here. See here, I'm already moving off, but over there, they're going to get it about 1:30, about 1:38, same time zone. They're in the same time zone as I. So, and I was saying earlier that if this were a total eclipse, I wish it were. I mean, I don't know how many of you have seen a total eclipse, but if you ever get a chance to one day, whether it comes to you or you have to travel far and wide to see it, and even if you can see from an airplane, it's also pretty cool too. But it's actually a seemingly once in a lifetime experience, unless you have the money to chase these eclipses all around the world. But luckily, eclipses can be predicted. That's why you can figure out what date it's going to happen on and where in the world it's going to occur, and what geographical areas lie in the band of totality or maximum coverage in today's case. Now, the reason today's eclipse isn't total is because basically what's going on is because the moon's orbit isn't perfectly circular. It's more of a kind of an ellipse. Ellipse meaning a flat circle. I know this is basic science, but but still, the reason, because the moon right now is at the farthest point in its orbit from the Earth, and it's called apogee. Apogee meaning Earth, far from Earth, like that. That's what it means, apogee. And aphelion, that pertains to the Earth and the Sun, because helios, like derived from the word helios, meaning sun. But G, for as in geography, geology, that prefix, it derives. It's going to mean of the Earth. So meaning apogee. Apogee will be from the furthest point in its orbit from the Earth. So that's why the moon will not cover the sun completely today. The eclipse last year, if any of you got to see it in the United States, the total eclipse that went from Oregon all the way down to about Charleston, South Carolina, and that total little tiny little ribbon of totality from Oregon to the East Coast there, and it's only about 70 miles wide. So those of you got to be within that zone, or very close to that zone, got to experience things that obviously I'm not going to get to experience here today, and not even those in Singapore and other parts today will get to experience, because you're not going to have totality. The best, but still an annular eclipse, to see a ring of fire, a ring of light, a ring of fire in the sky is still. If you guys ever get a chance to see it and even photograph it, please do so. Please do so. Now, as I was showing earlier, when we were little kids, and our parents would tell us not to look at the sun because it'll blind you. You go blind, obviously, and so that principle obviously holds strong through every phase of a solar eclipse, except for one: totality. That's the only time you can view an eclipse safely. Now, earlier, if you join me, I actually went through some ways that you can actually view this eclipse directly. This way was one: pinhole projecting. Excuse me. Another way is to get you can get a pair of eclipse glasses. You can get them online. Just Google search eclipse glasses, and you can find places near you that have them, or you can buy them online. Or if you happen to have lucky enough to have a piece of number 14 welder's glass, that's the only two things that are going to be dark enough, and they're going to cut enough of the sun's light to where it won't damage your eyes. And the same thing, you can also use your telescope or binoculars to also project the sun's image onto a piece of paper, like this one. But again, you have to get a piece of number 14 welder's glass, or actually for a telescope, a solar filter that can screw onto the wide aperture and the light gathering end of your scope or binoculars, and then you can safely view the eclipse. Now, because I don't have an eclipse a telescope with me, or even my binoculars anymore, but you can actually order those as well. Pretty much order anything online, So those are those ways to view an eclipse. Now, a more elaborate method of this. What people will do is they will take all you do to make one of these and keep it for next time you get a partial eclipse in your area, is all you do is you just take an old like a used shoebox, right? And what you do is you take one end, you cut out a hole in one end about an inch wide, right? Cut out, and then take a piece. What you do is take a piece of aluminum foil and then cover that hole, and then take a pin, maybe at the end of a paper clip or a pin, and just pop a tiny little hole. Just straight through. Don't round it out. Just pop it in. That's because it has to be as perfectly round as you can get. And then on the other end, you just cut a smaller piece of white paper like this and tape it to that end. And then at the top of the box, you would cut 3 sides of a square and then fold that flap and create a flap. And then that's your viewfinder. And then you just look in the opposite end and then point that thing towards the sun. You're basically facing away from the sun, looking you're like this. So say this is it. You'll be looking in this direction, because there will be an image of the sun projected onto that white piece of paper there. That's another safe way to view a partial eclipse. So all phases of an eclipse, save for totality. And even today, even in Singapore, they will not have totality, so it will still not be safe. So that's where you got to utilize. It's important to utilize one of these methods, because as you see my sunglasses here, they're just not going to get dark enough to safely view the sun. Okay, so not today. But as you can see, it's already starting to lighten up. If you guys, for those of you that joined me earlier, Kevin, Ramon, Gianna, if any were joining me earlier, you kind of made note that it was actually a bit darker. It was actually a bit darker, a few shades darker than it is here now. It's already starting to lighten up. So my fun time here is gonna come to an end. I'm gonna go back upstairs because it's gonna get it already is hot. See, hot here every day. So again, so anyway, so that's basically how you would safely view an eclipse up until totality. Now earlier, what I was saying is, because last year I happened to write about, guys. I don't know if any. I blogged about the Great American Solar Eclipse, and basically what I was saying earlier is that If today's eclipse, if I was blessed enough today to have a solar eclipse, a total eclipse here in Penang right now, and what I would see, yeah, obviously I would see what we saw earlier: darkening, cooling of the air, darkening of the light, and then crescents thinning out, and then right before the moon covers the sun, what's going to happen? You're going to get what are called Bailey's beads. Now, Bailey's beads are basically just like sunlight that's still shining through valleys on the moon's limb, the outer edge of the moon. So you still got some sunlight shining through the valleys, and that forms we call them Bailey's beads. You know, and like also the diamond ring effect. And some interesting things happen at that point, because now your light source, the sun, is not a disk as you are normally accustomed to. It is now a point, like a star. So at that point, what goes on is that, for one, your shadows that you see here will become ultra sharp, like super razor sharp, and also the light around you would take on, like everything would take on, like it would look like you're on an alien planet. The hues would be otherworldly, as you can call it. Yeah, it would just be unusual levels of saturation, not something you really see. So that's why it would seem strange, but it happens really fast because the moon's moving at about a couple thousand miles per hour, maybe 1,600 miles per hour across the shadows, flitting across the Earth's surface. Now, also what happens at that point is on the ground where you will start to see what are called shadow bands. Now, those are just basically flickering bands of shadow that would be flickering across the ground like that. You just see them shimmering, like the aurora, just like that. But you can't really photograph them because the contrast will be too low. But people have taken video of them, and if you ever get a chance to see that, that's something unique to see. Then right after that, then guess what? You get your totality. The moon will then cover the sun completely, and then you will see the sun's outermost atmosphere, the corona, which stretches millions of miles further out into space than the sun's photosphere, which is this part of the sun you can see. And that corona is millions of degrees, much hotter than the surface of the sun, believe it or not. So that's one of the only rare times in the past that you can study the sun's corona is during a total eclipse. So, and then also, that is not all. What you would also see is stars. You will see stars in the daytime. You look down at your watch, and it's, say right now it's like what time is it? 1:48 p.m. my time. If I look down my watch and then I look up, and then you see stars. The sky is dark. You see stars. Like that's how often you get to see that? 1:48 p.m. and you're from your part of the world. What you would see then, since you were in the zone of totality, you would see your dark sky above you, and then all around you on the horizon would be twilight, because that's the part not completely covered by the sun. So you're still going to get, because there's still got some sunlight going through there, and you will see that as twilight. And that's what also lends to that otherworldly hue. So that I really wish one day I would really love to experience a solar eclipse. You write about it and you study it, but yet to see it with your own two eyes and experience it, you just really feel something, because you have sun, moon, and earth doing a cosmic dance that they've been doing for billions of years. Obviously, even before, when the moon was much closer to the earth and eclipses were much more common, and the zone of totality would have been much, much wider than today. And so basically, let's see. I'm going to go back one more time, and then we're going to see if I'm going to flip this camera around. I'm going to see if there's any more crescents on the ground. Now, there are. I'm going to take these pieces of paper and show them like that. And let's see. I'm going to take this here, and obviously, okay, move out of the way here. And yes, you can kind of still see. You can still see, but you can still kind of see crescents in the. Yeah, you can still see crescents. So you're gonna until about 3 o'clock my time, then those crescents will disappear, and then we will get this full sunshine again. Okay, don't walk over there. It's doo-doo. Let's go back over here. So, anyways, guys, I just want to. Okay, so like I said earlier, even a palm tree, you can see that effect. check right here. So you can kind of see it here as well. You can like the parts that you can still. Let me see. All right, here. See, you can still see. So actually now, maybe 60% of the sun is covered still. So it's gonna the moon is now already moving off. So I'm already going out of the. I'm on the home stretch of this one for me. So Singapore, you're now in for a treat because it's now happening to you. But even you guys, it's gonna pass very soon. So I'm still lucky enough that you guys can still experience this with me today, even the first, because a lot of you I know it's nighttime and you guys are full of Christmas food and Christmas sweets. So thank you guys. I appreciate you all. For those of you that took the time out here to watch me today, I thank you all for joining me and us here at Ramblings of Robert to partake in today's astronomical coolness here. So as you can see here now, I'm in the waning moments of my eclipse. So I'm going to head back upstairs soon because it's going to be hot and I have air conditioning and cookies. Cookies waiting for me. Yes, I too have Christmas cookies. So anyways, I want to thank you guys on behalf of Ramblings of Robert and myself. I want to thank you all for joining with me and joining me along as we check out one of nature's most amazing spectacles, the eclipse. Now, and the next eclipse, if I'm still living here or wherever I'm at, I will be sure to do this again with you guys. I would love to do this again, and hopefully the next one will be a total one or even more so. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna end it here. So, thank you all. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. I have love for each and every one of you that joined me today. Okay, so, all right, guys, and then with that, I will be out. So have a good evening and enjoy your rest of your Christmas holiday and have a safe New Year's. You can do one more shot of the crescents if you guys want to see that. Everyone loves crescents, right? So let me switch back around here and I will show this for you guys. So okay, right here, and okay. So let me find a good spot here. Yeah, see, make it out right there, so you can still kind of see it a bit. Put it on the ground here. Put it back on the ground a bit. There, see? Now you can see it. Move out of the way here. Not so much see it, but if you can still see it, raise your hand. Raise your hand if you can see it. So, alright, there you can see. That's where I'm at. So I'm going to wrap things up here, and I'm going to go upstairs because I'm already done. So, alright, you guys. So, again, thank you very much I appreciate you joining Ramblings of Robert here today as for the 2019 solar eclipse spectacular. Alright, you guys. Alright, let me switch around here and switch around and that is it. So I will give my fare thee wells from beautiful Penang, Malaysia, the Pearl of the Orient. So I encourage any of you that would want to, any of my loving family, to come visit. I would gleefully encourage you all to come and check out this beautiful, beautiful place, especially if you're tired of winter's chill. Because believe me, you won't see any of that here. Unless you're in an air-conditioned place where they crank it up too high. All right, guys. And then with that, I am out. Have a good day, or a good night, and a good day tomorrow.